How you doing, guys? I kind of wanted to talk to you about a topic that we actually kind of did last week on the Tech Webcast, which I'm a co-host. And unfortunately, I only got the news article at the last minute right before the show, and didn't have time to research it. There seems to be missing information on some of the sources, so that's why I'm doing it for a topic today and on my live show as well. And this basically is where a woman was sued for a bad review on Yelp and Angie's List. And the woman's name is Jane Perez, who hired a contractor to do renovations in her house. And the contractor's name, I think, was Diaz Development. And in these reviews, she accused the contractor of shoddy workmanship and either missing or stolen jewelry in her house. Now, a police investigation left no conclusive evidence that the employees took the jewelry. And what seems to be left out in some of the news reports was Diaz Development actually sued Jane Perez previously on unpaid invoices. So I'm kind of wondering if this might be retaliation over the previous lawsuit for them not getting paid. Of course, maybe it was shoddy workmanship to begin with, so maybe that's the reason they're not paying this contractor. We're not quite sure yet, but that kind of bit of information to me is kind of important in the case. And now that kind of leaves really, what makes this topic really interesting, because a lot of the laws and liability and all that stuff dealing with the internet is often a really big gray area compared to off the internet, offline. For instance, a lot of these websites where people post comments, could be forums or wherever. The owners of these websites are not liable due to, I believe, federal law that protects them, which is kind of in some ways freedom of speech. But the people themselves that are commenting or leaving posts might be liable if they put false information or malicious comments that might hurt a third party, for instance. So some laws still apply. And to me, a lot of online review systems that leave, are kind of flawed in some ways. I mean, there's some legitimate ones out there. The only thing with that is a lot of times when I go onto an online rating forum, or it leaves ratings later on in the website, is if I go on there and I see a lot of mostly 1-star reviews and 5-star reviews with little in between, that kind of tells me that people are kind of trying to cheat the review system, trying to make it seem really great or really bad. And to me, that's not very fair. You need to be as truthful as you can with these reviews and rate it accordingly. And, not just, oh, it's a great app and then it's 5 stars. If there's a few problems with that app, you need to review it a little bit lower, and vice versa. And that's kind of why, I'm a little bit wary on some of these review sites. And I'll give you an example. Even on the same Yelp review from the same contractor, there's a woman put a response for rating, Heather A, I think. She gave the same contractor a 1-star review, and it says, "I have never used this company, nor would I, given that they are suing a customer over a review." And that kind of puts me, why is she putting a 1-star review, if she never used a contractor in the first place? And that kind of tells me how messed up a lot of these review sites are. And that's very misleading. Somebody may not even read all that and say, oh, 1 star, it must be bad. And they don't know all the information. So some things really need to be left up to the court system and not put in the court system of public popular opinion. That needs to be left with the courts, because they have most of the information. A lot of these websites don't. So you need to keep that in mind when with the laws and the rating apps and all that.